All right, let's take a look at 2105. So the plan is that this will release tomorrow, tomorrow evening, so it'll be on your sites by Friday morning. We got a bunch of cool things that I hope people will like. And Kirsten's done a lot of this as well, so we'll go through and talk about some of these. So we've got a bunch of cover updates. So the ability for list covers will automatically regenerate when contents update. So we were having cases where if people have looked at the My Lists, like if we added or deleted a title, these lists wouldn't regenerate or the covers wouldn't regenerate, and now they will. We have added the ability to set the correct cover for a grouped work. So let's just take a quick look. So if we look at like Harry Potter, so if we decide we didn't like this cover, we can click into the grouped work. And from the grouped work page now, so like we've got all of the more traditional Harry Potters and then the new one for the audio from the Overdrive audiobook, but we can click into this. We've got the ability to see all of the different grouped records. We can preview these, so we can take a look through some of the different covers, see what everybody has. Everybody's going to have the same one, which is going to make this less exciting. Cool, everybody updated those. This case, I would probably upload a cover, but just for the sake of making something look different, let's look at Chamber of Secrets, since that one is different. So here, if we want to get it to the new style, let's go into our grouped works. We'll preview these covers. That's got the old one. That's got the old one. Cloud Library is going to have the new one. So if we wanted to update that, make it all look a little more modern, we can click on that and just select Use Cover. And it should update there, unless I didn't update my JavaScript. There we go. So it updates and reloads that cover for us. So we can now make them all be consistent based off the grouped work. So we were having kind of two different cases where people wanted different records to bubble up from some of the different records. So like some people wanted the book, some people wanted Overdrive, some people wanted to upload a special cover, but only have that work for some things. So now you can pick whichever one you want. And the cover changes do still apply to all branches. So, and you still you have to have the permission to upload covers in order to pick one. So, when we do covers, so the other cool thing here, so if we didn't like this cover, so say we wanted a Harry Potter, this is Chamber of Secrets. Let's say we want to upload a different cover. So let's say we want this cover. So let's click into that. And we're just going to say, view this image. So there we've got the JPEG. So previously you had to like download this to your computer and then upload it. We kind of, well, Kirsten, we did a shortcut. So we can just upload by URL. So we just put in the URL of that and upload the cover. And that saves downloading it and uploading it. So nice and easy way to change things and have it just be easier to load those in. We also have the ability to upload covers to lists. So if we go into our lists again, so here's our list of lists. So if I wanted to, I've already done one here. So my quilting, I've got a list of quilts. If I wanted to upload a cover for Yoga for Fun, so we'll just go through and edit this. And because it's a public list, we are able to upload a custom cover because we have permissions to upload things. So we can upload it either from a cover or by URL. So I'm just going to use this one that I found. It is a free Creative Commons one, which is maybe going to work, maybe not. We're going to try it. Nope, that wasn't it. So I downloaded it. Let me upload this from the computer. And we'll upload that cover. And now when we go back to our lists, you might have to do a full refresh just to clear your cached cover. But then we get our new yoga. So we've seen definitely some different libraries promoting lists on their site or putting lists into browse categories or when lists are in search results or explore more. People have generated some really fancy covers. So like Arlington on their website just has some really nice looking covers. So you can start to bring those in from your website into Aspen. Any questions on any of the cover functionality? Cool. Then we spent a bunch of time looking at Polaris integration. So all of the core functionality for Polaris is now in place. That doesn't mean we're done with Polaris, but we can extract all of the records from Polaris. We can extract continuous indexing from Polaris. We'll be doing some additional work to try to get some of the time down on that, just the way they extract or the way they provide information in the API isn't as fast as we want. So we've got some extra tricks up our sleeve to do that, but you can do all of the hold integration, place holds, cancel holds, freeze and thaw, change hold pickup locations, renew checked out titles, load finds. We'll be doing a lot of the like cool things to do with an ILS soon. So like being able to update account information. We'll probably be doing some more cool things that multiple people have requested. So like being able to change hold pickup location or freeze and thaw selected holds. So Polaris has some cool APIs to do that, but we'll code it in such a way that it works for all ILSs, even if it means behind the scenes we're doing things one at a time. So I know that's been requested, so kind of look for that in the next release. We've done some Symphony integration updates as well. So just looking at records with large number of items. So Symphony goes through and actually breaks those up based off of, so it will turn one MARC record with a bunch of items into like 2, 3, 4, 5, and we just combine them all back together. And then we've done some updates for status as well. Some more user list updates. So as we look at a list, so let's look at, we'll look at my yoga for kids. So as we look at this list, we've done a few things to improve the functionality, especially dealing with multiple things. So we can, if we are, oops, I didn't want to do that. So let's do a sort by user defined. So previously we were like, the entire thing was draggable and droppable. We updated to just do, to add a browse target just to make it a little easier. So you can still drag and drop, but instead of taking over the entire screen, we have the ability to drag them up and down. just to make that a little easier and more straightforward and make it easier to do other stuff while you are in browse mode. We've also added, so you were able to delete individual things. We've now done it so that we can delete multiple things at once. So you can check those and delete selected items if you wanted to. You can also delete all items, and it gives you a confirmation, of course. But so if you're doing something where you have like a monthly list of staff picks or something that you just want to clear out every month, you could do that easily. Just delete them all and add new items. So we can delete those 2 off, and then it'll reload, and we have 6 now instead of 8. So, and then we could completely clear it. The edit modal will now also, so, whoops, previously we had gone from, sorry, I've got all the zoom controls all over where I want to go. Okay, so previously when you edited, it would take you to an entirely new place. Now we have the ability to copy it or move it to a different list or change notes. So if we wanted to, we could copy this to our yoga for fun and update the notes on it as well. So, so now that title, I Am Yoga, will also appear on that will now appear. There's I Am Yoga now. So just some nice ways to kind of manage your list and move things around. So like if you keep a for later list and a completed list or something like that, you can, instead of having to delete it and then move it, you can just say, or add it to one, delete it from the other. You can just say move it from books I want to read to books that I have read kind of books or kind of lists. And then we're still working. We didn't quite get that in yet, but being able to manually enter a custom sort position. So for the people maintaining lists that are hundreds of titles long, it's kind of annoying to, if you want to have a manually sorted list of all of the like Academy Award winners, going back to whenever they started that, but hundreds of titles. If you add one at the end, but you want that to be at the top, we want to be able to just click on that and say, nope, move this up to position number 1. Web Builder. So we've done a bunch of work with Web Builder. So a few things that people have noticed, just some little bugs, as well as some good new functionality. So when you're editing a page with an embedded custom form, it used to be that if you had required fields, it would kind of give you an error because it would expect you to fill them out, even though you weren't really filling it out when you were saving the page that you were building. So now those aren't required. And then we have done just some updates for using Web Builder in consortia. We've got a couple of consortias now that are looking to use Web Builder as their main library sites for multiple libraries. So that's really cool. And we've done a lot of work to make sure that the correct pages are showing to everybody, and so that you're managing the correct pages. Same thing with resources. So you're not seeing other people's resources and that kind of thing. And then we have also, if we are creating a custom page, so let's go into Aspen Admin and we'll go down to Web Builder. Let's create just a custom page. Here's our yoga page. So we've got yoga at the library. If we want to, we can edit the row. So we can do this for both rows and cells. We're now able to make a Great. Is it both rows and cells, or just rows, or just cells?
It should be both.
Okay.
It should be a checkbox.
So there will be a checkbox here. We'll look to see where that went. And then if we were editing let's edit. Oh, okay, that was the collection spotlight, or sorry, that was the cell. Let's edit the row. So here we can make the row an accordion. We're going to give this a title of related books or something. So now let's view this page. So now this goes into a collapsible thing. You probably wouldn't show it this way, but just as an example, so you can collapse things. So for an example, Uinta County has a code club that has an FAQ section on it that's quite long, and a lot of people don't need to read right away. So we're going to be able to put the FAQ into an accordion so people can click on that and open it and read the FAQs. So more functionality to make it easier. We also, let's go back here, and I'm going to undo that change. So we will undo that and save those changes. And let's just add a cell to this row. We have the ability now to add an iframe as well. So we have some people that want to put in like chat boxes and that kind of thing just into specific pages, or that have like an external event system that they want to include on some of those custom pages. So now you have the ability to put in iframe to make those things easier to do. And then web resources that haven't that don't have a logo will now get a logo automatically generated for them, just so that they look good in search results and within Explore More and that kind of thing. So fix some other CarlX indexing issues. We have changed, so logging in now, we've had some just kind of workflow questions and about how when you log in, previously it would always take you to your account page, and we've gotten some feedback saying, you know, I don't really want to go back to my go into my account. I'm doing something else, especially for staff. I'm logging in so that I can do things with the lists, or create collection spotlights, or browse categories. So right now, if you are on the home page or a web builder basic page or a custom page, so unless you are on one of those pages, you will stay where you are. And if you are on the home page, a basic page, or a custom page, you will be taken to your account. So the idea being, if I'm logging in, I probably want to go there. So let us know what people think of that. But it seems to be a nice change that just helps people stay where they are, and helps the workflow a little bit. As people use Masquerade more and more, we've had some cases where people are masquerading as different administrators in order to like test permissions and that kind of thing. We don't want to give people the ability to escalate privileges by masquerading as somebody else. So what we're doing, previously you had like both so the patron that I'm logged in with, as well as the patron that I'm masquerading in, both had to have the same roles. But we had cases where, like, if I'm logging in and I've got OPAC admin kind of super permissions, and I try to log in as a library admin, I don't have the same roles, but I have a lot of the same permissions. So now it's intersecting based off the permissions. And it's also doing smart things like saying, hey, if I'm allowed to manage all libraries, but the role that I'm masquerading as can only manage their library, we should be able to see managing the library. So that should all help people testing and setting up permissions, especially in consortia. There were some fixes just for, like, we had some big dates. So like expiration dates that were far in the future. So we had some 2050 expiration dates. We had some reading histories where, like, the reading history, the patron had checked it back in like 1960 or 1920, and we weren't handling those. Let's see, other things that are important. Browse category, the share with is going to default to your home library. So for people creating browse categories in consortia, by default, people will still only see theirs, and it'll help avoid cluttering things as much as possible. We're adding a new cron, fixed some just loading shelf locations from Koha. So as you add shelf locations in Koha, then it should be able to update automatically and bring them into Aspen.
I have a question. Is that okay, or should I wait till the end?
Sure. No, go for it.
So for the browse category, we'll do share with to my home library. Our login that we use for all of our different locations is just one. So for all the browse categories that I make for, you know, a lot of our libraries is set to like security. And
so
I'm gonna,
that'll be fine just when you create them. So if when I look at a browse category, so there's what the sharing is.
okay.
So that will just default. So if you want other people to see it, just change those to everyone.
Okay.
But it's fine that you create them with security. That's not a problem.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? Those are, so we had some issues with display name types not showing properly. So if you're doing first initial last name or last name first initial, if you are having that problem, save it as the opposite one, switch it back to the one that you want, and that'll clear everything out. So just after deploy. Subfield N is now included in the series name, which was, we had a few cases, like ready to learn is typically cataloged as 2 parts. So it'll be ready to learn level 1, level 2, level 3. I forget what they all are, but I think those are the big things. Just scan the rest of these. Yeah. Those are all the big things. Any questions on any of that? Cool. Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to getting some good new functionality out to you, and this will deploy tomorrow night. It is on Aspen Test. There may be 1 or 2 little bug fix things that we haven't talked about today that sneak in between today and tomorrow because we're always coding. But if there won't be anything else big. The only thing that's semi-big is in Symphony allowing updating of SMS settings will be the only like semi-large thing that comes in. Everything else will be fairly small, more on the bug fix kind of thing. So. Any questions? All right. Well, thanks everyone for coming. I know we had 45 minutes scheduled, but we realized we've got another meeting that starts here at 4 o'clock Eastern. So we'll go a little bit short for everybody, give you back 15 minutes of your day. And yeah, hit us up if you have any issues or have any feedback. Just hit us up in Slack, put in a ticket, that kind of thing. So we're looking forward to rolling this out to you tomorrow.